Icebreaker is one of the most rewarding, but also one of the most unforgiving maps in Escape from Tarkov 1.0. Between the expensive entry cost, Black Division squads, rogues, Wedge and his guards, the gas mechanics, keycards, and the risk of losing everything with no insurance, it can be overwhelming if you do not know exactly what you're walking into. So in this complete Escape from Tarkov Icebreaker map guide, I'm going to show you everything you need to know. We're going to cover how to unlock Icebreaker, how to access it directly from the main menu so you don't need to rely on the Shoreline transit, the best solo loadouts to bring, how to clear every major section of the ship, how to beat Wedge and the Black Division, where to find all the access keycards you'll need and high value loot, and ultimately how to get out with all of it. By the end of this guide, you will have a repeatable route for farming meta ammo, armor, meds, stims, experience, and serious rubles on Icebreaker. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do to unlock the ability to go to the Icebreaker ship is either find a Paradigm shipping poster in a raid or just buy it on the flea market. Next time you go to Ground Zero, just take a look on the walls when you're running around the banks. You can find these there pretty often, but if you're level 15, I really just recommend buying it on the flea market. Once you have yourself the poster, just inspect it and the Boreas story chapter will begin. Next, you'll need to visit Mechanic and speak with him about it. He's going to send you to Woods to repair the cellular tower located just here on the map. All you need to do is approach it with a tool set in your inventory and you can begin the repair. The next thing Mechanic is going to do is have you head to Lighthouse and grab the Paradigm shipping documentation form for him. This can be found on the table located inside of the large storage building in the back of the train yard behind the water treatment plant located just here on the map. After you hand the shipping documentation to Mechanic, he's going to tell you to find transportation to and from the Icebreaker ship. This is going to require you to speak with both Prapor and the BTR driver. First, let's discuss what Prapor is going to want you to do. Your next step with Prapor could actually be a few things depending on what you did with the armored case during the story chapter of Falling Skies. If you already gave the case to Prapor, all you're going to need to do is hand over the AMG-10 fluid to him. If you kept the armor case, you'll need to give Prapor 3 found in raid military power filters and then you hand over the AMG-10 fluid. And if you have not begun or completed Falling Skies, don't worry, all you need to do is eliminate any 30 targets on reserve and then launch a yellow signal flare over at the Woods transit while you're there. After that, you'll need to hand over that AMG-10 fluid to Prapor. The AMG-10 fluid can be found in any of these two locations. If you head to the Black Bishop or drop-down building located here on the map, just head into the basement and you'll find the fluid on any of these three places, either on the racks or on the pallet. If the AMG-10 fluid is not there, just head outside and check by the helicopter. The fluid can spawn inside the helicopter on the wooden crate, at the foot of the ladder, or outside by the forklift. Once that is done, you have successfully secured your extract off the Icebreaker ship via a helicopter. Now let's assume you've not completed the BTR driver's entire quest line. Once you speak to him, he's going to ask you to eliminate any 10 targets in smugglers' territories. This can either be accomplished at the smugglers' base located here on Shoreline or the interchange smuggler base located just here on the map. The only way to do this is to just grind it out. You're going to need to visit these locations multiple times in order to complete this because of RNG. Sometimes you'll come here and nothing will spawn. Sometimes the scavs will have already been taken out by other players. Either way, grind this out and once it's done, just head back to the BTR driver and he'll agree to bring you to the Icebreaker ship. And if you're wondering, to me, the best way to find the BTR driver is just to go straight to Tarkov. It's a really fun map to play and you can always catch him just driving around. Now, in order to head to Icebreaker, you need to go to the hovercraft located just here on Shoreline and pay 400,000 rubles to transit to the Icebreaker. Just get close to the hovercraft, pay the fee, and the transit timer will begin. Now, using this transit is an absolute nightmare, so real quick, let's discuss how to unlock the ability to go directly to the Icebreaker map from your main menu. In order to do this, you're going to need to make it all the way to the chained up door on the Icebreaker ship in order to unlock the ability to speak with the BTR driver and actually get the new quest line that begins with the quest Stick to It. Once you reach the chain door, wait approximately 24 hours and then visit the BTR driver to get access to this quest. This quest line is very straightforward, so I'm not going to cover it all, but once you complete it, you will be able to go directly to the Icebreaker map from the main menu and you won't need to use the Shoreline transit anymore. You can find the Stick to It quest line over on the Tarkov wiki. Now that you're able to go to Icebreaker, let's quickly cover some recommended loadouts. These are the loadouts I recommend for solo play, and I recommend different gear depending on your goals. If you just want to farm the meds, raiders, and limited Black Division, then I recommend you bring what I call a helicopter clear kit. This consists of any rig with tier 5 plates in it. Either a loud MDR, SCAR, or M4 will be fine. The weapon doesn't really matter that much, just make sure it's loud and has a bright flashlight on it. I usually bring 4 mags and a full stack of 80 spare bullets for this. Bring the best ammo you can without breaking the bank. I usually just bring M855A1. I like to bring a budget headset like the M32s because the black div can spawn with Comtac 6s, and I like to fraud my stuff and upgrade. Just remember that insurance doesn't work on Icebreaker, so whatever you leave behind will not be returned to you. After that, I will bring 1 or 2 grenades, 1 green smoke grenade, a Serv 12, some painkillers, some heals, maybe a splint, and lastly 2 empty injector cases. Don't forget to bring 2,500 euros in order to take the helicopter extract and 400,000 rubles in order to use the transit. If you don't have the ability to get injector cases yet, don't worry, it's not that big of a deal. If you're wondering where my helmet and gas mask are, I just take them from the Rogues or the Black Division. The goal of a helicopter clear is to just get used to clearing the engine room and farming the Rogues. You're also going to get a ton of good meds, ammo, and money by doing this. I'd also like to note that you're going to get about 45 to 50,000 experience for surviving this raid, so that's really good if you're just trying to level up. The next type of loadout is what I call a half clear loadout. In a half clear raid, we plan on clearing all the way up to the chain door that leads us to Wedge. It will require us to clear the Rogues, of course, the engine room, the helipad, under the helipad, and then the chain door guards. You're looking at taking out about 13 Rogues and 16 or so Black Division in a half clear raid. The only thing I change for a half clear raid is I bring a mule stim to make sure I can carry out all that juicy loot, and then I'll bring 4 green smoke grenades instead of just 1. You're going to be looking at tons more ammo doing this and about 100,000 or so experience for a half clear raid. For a full clear raid, this is where we're going to get through the chain door, defeat Wedge and his guards, and defeat that final Black Division squad. Again, the bones to my kit look exactly the same. The only thing I'm going to add now is the SC1 explosive charge, 7 green smoke grenades, and about 12 explosive grenades. M67s work nicely, but just bring whatever you want. I also typically bring some sort of food or water for this run because we're going to be going pretty fast and stimming up more often, and I don't want to have to worry about running out of food or water. Speaking of stims, I make sure to bring a mule stim and then a Zagustin or an ETG stim just in case I get into some trouble. Okay, now that we've discussed loadouts, let's talk about how to clear Icebreaker. Icebreaker can seem like an elephant of a map, so let's break it down into 7 manageable sections. In the first section we're going to discuss, it's going to cover how to clear the Rogues, get the Boreas Engine Room keycard, and make our way into the next section of the ship. After you load in, just head to this little room here. Inside, there's always going to be a green flare, which you will need to call in the helicopter to extract and escape. Decent loot can also spawn in the shelves above it, so take a quick peek. After that, just head to the far door on the right and unseal it. I always sprint back after opening up the second door because the scav boss knight or some rogues can just be standing there and blast you. Right hand peek them slowly to take them out. If Knight is not pushing you, just head inside a little bit and it will trigger him to push you. You'll hear Knight's footsteps when he's approaching. As soon as you hear that, just back up and take him out. I usually stay here for a little while and try to take out as many of the rogues as I can. After a few of them go down, just head inside and go right. There are many high tier medical loot spawns in these rooms, as well as multiple Ledex spawns. Make sure you're putting whatever good stims you find inside your injector case. The 400k price ticket to go to Icebreaker may seem steep, but you can easily stick enough loot inside your secure container to make that back. As a quick reference, L1, Adrenaline, and Morphine are the most inexpensive stims, so prioritize the other ones. All you should be doing here is going through and clearing all these rooms and checking for loot. The key card to access the engine room will always spawn in either the hands of a dead scientist or above his head. Don't forget to go talk to the scientist located in this room in the left beyond the staircase to continue working on the Boreas storyline if you're interested in doing that. Also, while you're looting, just keep your ears open. It's not uncommon for rogues to continue to push up from the downstairs while you're looting. Don't let them surprise you. Once the floor is clear, you can head straight downstairs, but if there are rogues down there, they will have an unfair advantage on you from that peak. So what I like to do is head back outside and drop down the hole into the freezer. From here, you can move right and get a good right-hand peek on all the bad guys. First, clear the rogues that were at the bottom of the staircase, and next clear the kitchen area. Once you're done with that, head over to the computer tech room and take out the final few rogues. The rogues in the tech room like to sit in corners. I usually just lob a grenade in there to make them scatter and then shoot them while they flee. Good loot can spawn in the tech room all along the dashboards and on the floor beneath it, so take a look around. In case you're totally new to Icebreaker, there's a few loot items that are unique to this map. The Ultralink Satellite Communications Module, the Memento Server RAM Module, the GigaChad Crypto Processor, these newbie pills, and the Akeso Express. The Ultralink is only worth picking up if you're going to be doing the quest line. You need about 3 of them found in Raid. These only vendor for about 170k, and you're going to find better stuff, so I don't pick up the Ultralinks unless there's nothing else available. On the other hand, the newbies, the RAM, the GigaChad, and the Akeso Express are all worth picking up and vendor for an absolute ton. The only one of these you can't put in your secure container is the Akeso Express, but if you actually manage to find this and extract it, it'll vendor to therapists for 1.1 million rubles, so make sure you keep a lookout for these. Now once the bottom floor is clear, it is safe to head to the next area. You can easily find the spot to swipe the engine room keycard if you head down the stairs and you stay straight through the double doors, take a right and go down the hall. You can also find it by following this exact route and then just going through the computer room and taking a right. After you swipe the keycard and go through this door, feel free to loot up and eat any food if you need to. This is section 1 done. When you reach the other side of the room, there's going to be a cutscene showing Wedge and his Black Division guards landing on the ship. I'm going to skip the cutscene for right now because I don't want to ruin it for you. It's so cool, so I don't want to spoil that. From here, we're on our way to the engine room, so make your way through the halls to grab whatever loot you'd like. If you stay to the left for the most part, you're going to find your way to the sealed door leading to that engine room. As of right now, the only way you would find Black Division if you've been to Terminal, which less than like 2% of the player base is actually Escape Terminal. So for like 98% of players that play this game, the engine room is actually their first encounter with Black Division. They are so much harder than scavs, rogues, and even most bosses, so it could take you by surprise. I'm going to show you the way that I reliably clear the engine room every time with ease. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you're going to throw your bag down because it should be full of loot and you're going to want to stay mobile. Hotkey a smoke grenade and get it ready to throw, and then take whichever painkiller you want. I usually just inject one of the morphines I found upstairs. Now I always throw the green smoke grenade into this little spot. And yes, this video is coming out post-patch. It used to be that the Black Div would just line up in the smoke and you could laser them with ease. But even though they don't do that now, they kind of stay up in the rafters, this green smoke will provide cover for you, and its primary use is concealment. I promise you the green smoke still works. The next thing I do is prep a grenade, and once I step across the first red light on the ground, the Black Div will spawn in. They can either spawn on the left or the right of the far hall, and they can be on multiple different floors, so I don't really think too much about this. I kind of just throw the grenade to make them scatter after they spawn. Maybe the grenade takes one out, maybe it doesn't. It's really not a big deal. Now after you throw the grenade, just fall back behind the engine block and into the cover of the smoke. The Black Div will walk around the rafters around you, so keep a lookout for their heads and take them out. If they're not moving or I don't know where they are, I like to throw grenades long to make them scatter or reposition. If you came to this map solo, there's going to be 4 Black Div every time that you'll need to take out. If you came in with a team, there's going to be 6. Make sure you're counting the bodies as you take them out. I have this happen a lot where only 3 or so Black Div push me and one of them stays back. If that's the case, just throw some more intel grenades to get ears on their position and force the hiding one to push you. Once the Black Div are gone, I like to check them for loot and ammo real quick and maybe swap to upgrade to one of their weapons or something like that. While you're in the engine room, make sure you look at the board that's inside of the office. This code will change each raid. After you get the code, just head down the staircase in the middle of the engine room and you're going to find a door that leads to a secret room. The loot in here is kind of hit or miss, but it's always worth checking. Congratulations, the engine room is cleared. Okay, real quick guys, if this guide is helping you out, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. There's plenty more Tarkov content on my channel and on the way, and it really supports this channel. Thank you very much to all the supporters. Next up, we need to clear the helipad. At this point, you should equip a gas mask if you can, but if none of the Black Divs so far have spawned with one, don't sweat it. I'm going to show you how I clear the helipad even if I don't have a gas mask. Once you approach the door leading to the helipad, sometimes they're going to throw these gas grenades and flashes. In this instance, you can see they did both and I didn't have a gas mask. The way I deal with the 3 Black Div on the helipad is to just underhand lob grenades over the barrier and then peek them while they're scattering around. Always aim for the head and just rinse and repeat until they're all dealt with. The helipad is the only extract you can take on this ship. Just approach the H, launch your green flare up, and the helicopter will come in. Once it lands, just approach it and pay the 2,500 euros and your extract timer will begin. Now, assuming you aren't extracting, you will need to clear underneath the helipad. To do this, sprint as fast as you can down the stairs and stay to the left and crouch behind the hard cover. Black Div can be on the lower level beyond you right now and they might even shoot at you, but it's really not a big deal. Next, line up your sights so that when you throw a smoke grenade, it will land by or beyond the door that's on the right. Watch me now. Next, there could be a few Black Div on the lower level and they will shoot you as you approach that door, so we need to get them to move. I usually throw 2 to 3 grenades down there and they're all going to scatter, which will allow you to run over and unseal the door on the right where I threw the smoke. Unseal that door and head inside. Now the first thing you want to do when you go down the stairs is tuck yourself in the corner and prep another smoke grenade. Throw the first smoke grenade at the bottom of the door and then unseal it. Go ahead and prep a second smoke grenade while the first one is blooming. Once the first smoke grenade has a good bloom, open up the door and lob the second smoke grenade just beyond it. Once both of the smokes have bloomed, you're free to move out and eliminate any of the Black Division out there underneath the helipad. Just Just make sure you stay in the smoke. If you can't see the black div, just lob a grenade to make them move. If you need to peek them to make the move, that's fine. Just make sure you fall back into the room if you need to heal. Repeat these steps until the 4 to 6 black div that spawn here are dealt with. After you've cleared underneath the helipad, you're going to need to head to the chain door. To get there, just stay low and to the left and wrap all the way around the bottom deck. There's going to be 3 black div guarding the door, but if you come at them from this angle, you can easily tap their heads and take them out. Once the 3 are dealt with, you can head up the stairs to loot them. This is now the end of what I call the half clear. There are no more enemies that can spawn in or fight you, so you can totally let your guard down and just run around and loot freely before taking that helicopter out. If you are looking to unlock access to this map via the main screen as discussed earlier, you're going to need to touch this chain door and then extract. The first time you visit this map, this locked door is going to be as far as you can go. Now once you touch the door, your Boreas storyline should update and it'll tell you to talk to Mechanic. Once you've received that update, you can go back to the BTR driver about 24 hours after and you'll be able to get the quest Stick to It, which leads to unlocking this map in the main screen. I like to do these half clears to farm armor, meds, and meta ammo. Now if you want to fight the scav boss Wedge and clear the icebreaker completely, you will need to place the charge on this door and move on to the next section. Once you place the charge, just fall back so you're not going to be damaged by the explosion. Once it blows, just head through the door and be very careful now. Wedge and his guard's reaction time is absurd, so you're going to need to be very careful here. I highly recommend that you make sure you're wearing a gas mask so you can move around freely, as they love to spam gas grenades. The first thing you should do when you get here is jiggle peek the first hallway to make sure that no one is standing there. If the coast is clear, lob a green smoke so that it lands around that first door you see on the right. I like to throw 2 more just for good measure, 1 closer and then 1 more beyond the door. After that, just head into the smoke and look for heads to click. Be patient here. If no one is appearing, you can throw grenades to make the enemy move. Throw more smokes if you want to reposition, but just make sure you always stay inside the smoke unless you really know what you're doing. After you take out Wedge and his guards, this area is clear for you to loot, eat, drink, whatever you need to do. Now to reach the captain, you're going to need a blowtorch, which you can find around the kitchen. When you are ready to move on to the final battle with the Black Division, head all the way up the stairs until you cannot go any further and go down the hall and head outside. From this point on, if you see any door that needs a code to get in or out of the ship, the code is going to be 312220. Again, that's 312220. Once you head up a level and back into the ship, there is one final wave of Black Division you're going to need to fight. I like to head down the hallway on the right so I can get that good right-hand peek. These Black Div like to spawn at the base or the top of the stairs. Also know that once you engage these Black Div, the rest of them are going to charge you, so you need to be ready for that. Use those quick peeks and aim for the head. I usually run out of smokes by this point, but I guess technically you could just bring more and handle this part the same way we handled every other Black Division fight.
Provide cover. Empty. Stay sharp. Report any movement.
Anyways, once these are dealt with, the entire ship now has been cleared. To locate the captain, you're going to need to head back outside of the ship and to the top level. Keep moving and look for a small hatch on the roof and use a blowtorch on it. Once that is done, just spam open a few times until it opens up and then jump inside. You're going to find the captain around the corner with the compartment keycard by his body. There can also be tons of good loot on the dashboards or on the ground in here, so look around before you take off. Whenever you're done looting, just breach the door to get out and head back inside. If you re-enter from the left side compartment door, there is a quest door that's going to be on your right. Inside, you can find a bunch of tech loot and eventually some quest items if you get that far. The loot on Icebreaker is very good, guys. In my opinion, it is by far the best way to farm tons of meta ammo, armor, and meds in Tarkov. If you are interested in looting the crew quarters, you will need the Boreas crew quarters keycard. This keycard can be found as a guaranteed spawn in one of the 5 spawn locations in either the canteen or the gym shown here on the screen now. This keycard can be used to loot any one of the 8 crew quarter rooms. There are a few of the quarters on levels 3, 4, and 5 of the Icebreaker ship. After opening these rooms many times, guys, though, I honestly feel like they were just a waste of time. I know that might sound weird, but I think that the ammo, meds, and armor are way more valuable than whatever you will find in the crew quarters. It also takes a lot of time unpacking all of the ammo in the raid, so I think your time is much better spent doing that than looting the crew quarters. Plus, you're going to find so many stims and maybe a LEDX or a Queso Express, so focus on that instead. There is one more keycard you can get, and that is the Compartment C-1 keycard. You can only get this keycard by freeing the trapped scientist in the quest line, and it can only be used at one time. Behind the lock, you're going to find some decent loot scattered around his lab, but the best part is going to be the 4 LEDX that you will find sitting on the desk inside his office. And that is your complete map guide for Icebreaker and Escape from Tarkov 1.0. If you found this guide helpful, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Tarkov content. If you are looking for teammates to run Icebreaker with, feel free to hop in our Discord. There's a lot of people in there and they're always running raids and helping each other out, so have fun. A link to the Discord can be found in the description. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of Icebreaker or what guide you'd like me to do next. And as always, thanks for watching. I'm Ghost, and I'll see you in the next raid.